All right, so steak, kind of a little bit expensive. So if you want to save money, the best way is to get yourself a slab like I got here and cut it yourself, okay? That can be a little daunting, so I'm gonna show you what I do. This is a New York slab I got from Costco, $11.99 a pound. So, you know, it's pretty decent price. A couple dollars a pound cheaper than the ones that are already cut. So you're saving money there. So let's say you get, I don't know, say 20 pounds worth of steak. Let's just say you do that. You're saving yourself about $40 or so, maybe closer to $50 by doing it this way. Now, it can be somewhat daunting cutting your own steaks. I get that. But I pretty much keep everything with eating the carnivore diet. You know, I like the fat. I like to keep the fat cap on and so forth. So it makes it really easy. You don't have to worry about trimming things up if you don't want to. So I got a knife here. It's a brave edge knife for cutting through the steak. And so, you know, this first piece is gonna be a little bit rough. So I don't know, I'm just gonna kind of even things out a little bit. And this is gonna be like not really a scrap piece, but this is not gonna be a normal piece for me. So this is kind of interesting. It's a little thicker here and not as thick here. So we'll see what I end up doing with this. I could put this through a meat grinder if I wanted to and have some ground beef that way. That's one thing you can do with it, but that's fine. That's just what I'm gonna do there. And then that makes it really easy to cut the rest of the way. Cut it to whatever thickness you want. You like them a little thinner, cut it thinner. You like them thicker, cut it thicker. I'm gonna make this one a little bit thicker, and I'm gonna see exactly how much it weighs out to. So there we go. Nice thick steak from doing that. Now I need to get my scale here real quick. All right, so I'm gonna weigh this. And I know you can't really see in the video here, so you have to take my word for it, but it's 1 pound, 13 ounces. So that is a 29 ounce steak, 30 ounce steak, basically, 29 ounce steak. A little less than 2 pounds, but it's a nice one. And this is kind of how I like to do, because I like to eat about 2 pounds of beef in a meal. So I like to do it around that thickness. So I'm gonna cut my next one around the same thickness. Now, I'm making really big ones. You could make them a lot thinner. You might want them to be 16 ounces or around 12 ounces. So you just make them a little thinner. There you go. 1 pound, 12 ounces. So right around the same. So you kind of get a pretty good idea pretty quickly of what thickness you want to cut. And you just do that all the way through. And different things you can do. You can either have a vacuum sealer. I do have a vacuum sealer. And you can seal these really nice and freeze them that way. Because you're probably not going to eat all of them in the next few days, all the steak. Or if you have like some gallon freezer bags or something like that, those work really well as well to store them in the freezer. And it's a good way to save money on steak, because you're getting, you know, at least a couple dollars a pound cheaper than if they're already cut for you. And you're getting this delicious fat here. This nice fat cap is actually pretty good for you. So you're getting that fat cap with it. And a lot of the steaks that you buy at the store, they trim a decent amount of fat off. So you're getting all the fat. For a New York loin is typically considered a leaner cut of meat. But when I'm cutting it and I'm getting that fat cap in there, I'm getting a decent amount of fat still in there. So it's a little bit fattier than what you would normally hear about New York. So anyway, I hope this video kind of helps you to show you it's really simple to cut your own steaks. You don't have to worry so much about all the trimming the fat and so forth. And yeah, I got this one that doesn't really, you know, it's thick here, thin here, just to kind of even things out on the end that I did. And I could cook this up as is, or I could, like I said, put it through a grinder, because I do have a meat grinder, because I make my own sausage, kielbasa, that kind of stuff. So I could do that kind of thing, put it through a meat grinder and ground it, or I could just cook it as it is and do it that way.